Welcome back to another video from the Debate Room podcast. This is not an episode. This is like a mini video. We're going to predict the winners of both championship games in the playoffs this year. The Commanders versus the Eagles, and then the Bills versus the Chiefs. Before we get into it, though, make sure you guys follow the channel, subscribe to the channel. Pardon me. Follow us on our social media platforms up at the top of the screen and in the description. I just did a cool flag video, so after you watch that, if you watch college basketball, you're interested in the NBA draft, go give that a watch. But yeah, man, support the channel. We trying to grow and continue to grow. And make sure you guys follow our social media platforms because TikTok is we don't know how long it's gonna be here right now. So when that goes down, we're gonna need something to land on. But how you guys doing, man? How y'all doing today?
Cold and tired.
Tired.
Nice.
But we gotta get this content out though. Gotta get the content out before this weekend.
I was supposed to go to class. I ain't got no class yet. Did I? Nope, I didn't. Did I?
I was supposed to be off, but they flipped the script on me and they put me to work this week.
Well,
4 o'clock, like damn.
I mean, missing the first day ain't the worst. I mean, but I don't know.
It was your first day?
Yeah.
Like your first day of school?
My first day of school was yesterday.
That's crazy.
Yep. Anyways, let's get it started, man. Commanders versus Eagles. We're gonna start off with the NFC. Obviously, Commanders are one of the hottest teams in the NFL right now. They shocked the Lions, upset them. Jaden Daniels is lighting the world on fire. Dan Quinn looks like a home run head coaching hire. Cliff Kingsbury is rebuilding his reputation with the Commanders. And as far as the Eagles, they handle business against the Rams. Still the narratives about Jalen Hurts, about his passing, but they had a big day on the ground. So let's start off with before we even predict anything, just some questions. Basically, I want to ask you guys if Jaden Daniels makes a Super Bowl, is he a no doubt top 5 quarterback?
No. I'll be honest. No. It'll go down as arguably one of the best runs, if not the best run as a rookie, for sure. But like we saw with CJ last year, who had a great regular season, made the playoffs, and again, him winning these 2 games would be huge. I think Jaden would have to win it all in order for people to really put him up there. I guess people would throw him over a Herbert name or a Stafford name, but I honestly don't think. I think that would be disingenuous. I think that the top 5 is the top 5, and I think Stafford's still looking in, and I think that's pretty. I don't know. I'm not gonna say consensus, but I think that is like agreed upon or kind of widely just that's true. But Jaden's definitely running up the ranks for sure. He had a great rookie year, and that win against the Lions was not a fluke. He played great that game. So I really think he would need to win that next game because, again, sophomore slumps exist, and you could kind of fall back down. People can learn schemes. You got a whole summer to figure stuff out. But, again, I'm not saying the Commanders can't win. I definitely think they have a chance in this. We'll talk about that later. But I would not put him automatically in top 5 conversations. I'd say top 7, top 8. And, again, for a rookie year, I think that's huge.
Go ahead, Chief.
If he wins this game, he's top 5. I don't know what to say. If he wins this game, he's top 5. A Super Bowl appearance in your first year, and without this isn't a Joe Burrow type of Super Bowl appearance where Joe Burrow played fine in that run. He had some good moments, but it was largely because of the defense. The Commanders would have beat the 2 best teams in the conference, and it would have been on the back of Jaden Daniels' his offense. He's a driving force of this offense, and he's a driving force of this team turning that season around. I just can't get behind taking the Commanders. The Commanders, we know who the Commanders are, one of the worst-run organizations for 15 years, and then taking them to the Super Bowl in your first year. I will give him the respect of calling him a top 5 quarterback. It will be more than Justin Herbert has ever accomplished in his entire career, and I understand because I understand that Justin Herbert has years of being an excellent quarterback. I just said that on the last episode, our last solo episode, but an accomplishment of that magnitude, especially based on how he plays, because there is no way they win this game unless he plays amazing.
I agree. I think I was
Given
thinking about like how he's going. Like it would depend on how he plays, but I agree. I don't think they win this game unless he's balling. So he would have to look good in a win.
yeah, and
Bro, he's
also
top
like
five.
I mean,
He's top five.
you talk about him winning the actual Super Bowl. I will be talking about more than top 5, a little bit higher than that. If he
Who is
won
he
the Super Bowl,
jumping? Who is he jumping?
Burrow. I mean,
Burrow.
but,
He did
I
it.
mean, hey,
He did. He would have did the same exact. He would have did the same exact thing Burrow did, literally, but he did it a year earlier without getting hurt, and he actually won the game.
yeah.
The thing with Burrow is
What do
he
you
gets
mean?
up for
He didn't win.
average to okay.
You're saying Burrow making the
Year
AFC
Heisman,
Championship or the Super Bowl?
huh?
You're saying Burrow winning the AFC Championship?
No, I said he would have done more than he have did more than Burrow. Like they did the same exact thing, but would have done more if he wins. He definitely jump Burrow.
Didn't Burrow go to the Super Bowl as well?
And if he wins the Super Bowl, he
Oh,
would
100,
have
that's what
done
I just said.
more.
That's what I just said. If he wins Super Bowl, it's a
And
different
he would have did
conversation.
it a year earlier.
That's what I'm saying.
I
I'm
said
saying
if he wins Super Bowl, I'll be having like him, like not just in top 5, but like top 4 type shit.
yes. Yes, I didn't hear that part. Yes, if he wins the Super Bowl, I agree. He is definitely in
Yeah,
higher conversations. Yes,
he's
100%.
top 5. He
100%.
with no doubt. He's the best quarterback. I think you could probably say he's the best quarterback in the NFC right now. Matt Stafford, technically the best quarterback in the NFC, but
No,
if I
he's
want to
playing best
factor in
for sure. Like,
age and playmaking ability, and what I got, and I know I got him for the next 15 years, instead of the next. Maybe I have him for a year because Matt Stafford's going up in here. You might as well just pick Jaden now because you're going to pick him next year anyway. You get what I'm saying?
No,
He's top 5. This would be
I think
literally the greatest rookie quarterback season ever. Like he'd gone to the Super Bowl that never happened before. It's so many things like his poise, his playmaking ability, he doesn't turn the ball over. You could say he could get schemed up next year. So it's just a little bit different. Like it's just like CJ had a great year. Like these quarterbacks have a great year, but this is a different situation. Like he wasn't. They were always put in a situation like you had Nico and you had D'Amico and all that, so things were good. Their defense was good, so they had some things going. Justin Herbert, he had the weapons. Dak Prescott had the best O line in the league. Zeke, and at the time he still had like Dez Bryant. So like those situations a little different. They also the other ones that made the conference championship had top 5 defenses. Jaden don't got that. He's actually uplifted. So
he
I
got thrown, he
might
got
as well
thrown
have the edge.
he got thrown shit.
I don't think CJ Stroud has sophomore help, to be honest.
I'm sorry, I forgot what I was gonna say. Never mind.
Yeah, I don't think CJ. I mean, considering we know how much the playoffs means in the NFL. He was good in his playoffs, and a lot of stuff just happened over the season where I feel like it's not more so like teams like getting film on him, is that he wasn't able to actually like uplift the situation as much as he was last year. I wouldn't call him a slump though.
If the Commanders win, I think it also goes down as one of the best runs. As far as the teams they played and matched up against, because obviously being a lower seed, the Bucks we can throw out the window. Beating the Lions in Detroit, beating this Philly team in Philly, and going up against the Chiefs or the Bills. Those last 3 teams are.
They went on the road every single. They literally been on the road every
That's what
single
I'm
game.
saying, and I don't think anyone, at least off the top of my head, has kind of matched up against those 3 juggernauts. Just because seeding the way they're a 6 seed and are able to do all this is insane.
Yeah, I mean, Patrick Mahomes went on the road every single game last year and won a Super Bowl.
Not as a rookie.
Yeah, he wasn't a rookie, of course. But my last question, I want to ask you this, Max. If the Eagles somehow lose this game, would you fire Nick Sirianni?
Would I fire him? It's tough. It's tough. I don't know. Just because I don't think he does a whole lot of things well. But I think the city loves him and he puts out good. Sorry, city's not love him, but he puts out wins. And obviously that's huge. It's tough to fire a coach who wins. But it's really also hard to kind of point to what he really does for the team. When you kind of see an offense like the Shane Steichen and Jonathan Gannon year where they had those two guys, their coordinators. They were very, very efficient on both sides of the ball. They both leave, they drop. You kind of bring in new blood. It works out. I don't know if it's a Sirianni thing. I don't know if he's a great leader. It might just be feeling like whatever, blowing everything out of proportion. But I don't necessarily think that I don't think he'll get fired. No, I don't think he'll get fired. I would have the conversation though if it was me, just thinking about it. But who are you really going to replace him with? Probably no one at this moment. Who are you thinking to replace him with?
Q.
They lose, I'm firing Nick Sirianni.
Who are you replacing him with though?
I'd call Bill Belichick still hasn't signed his contract.
He just did.
No, I'm pretty sure he ain't signed his contract yet. And he could, and even if he did, there's a clause that he could get out before June 6th. If the Eagles call him up, he's taking that job.
He did sign today.
Oh, hey,
his buyout. He has a buyout though.
Yeah, I think it's like June 6th. So if they call him, he's taking that job. They should have been did that. This is Philly. You talking about it's tough to fire a coach that wins. They've done it before. They did it with Andy Reid. They did it with Doug Peterson. They could do it with him. Like, Andy Reid had that team as one of the best teams in the league while he was there. Doug Peterson won a Super Bowl, and 2 years later they canned him. Nick Sirianni, you clearly see that you said you can't see what he does well. There's nothing that you can point to that he does well. He's an offensive guy, but when he was calling plays, they were bad. Ever since he let go of all those responsibilities, they were literally a good offense. He's coordinator reliant. He's bad like time management. He doesn't understand the flow of the game. You can get off Nick Sirianni. This roster, you could pretty much have any decent coach and they can win games. It's not hard. He won nine games his first year because they had a great roster. And Jalen Hurts had more movability at that time. You could literally move off him. You get Bill Belichick, you get a more buttoned up team. Like since Nick Sirianni doesn't call plays, you got Kellen Moore still there. He could call the plays. They'll do the same. Vic Fangio there, defense, and then you got one of the best game managers of all time on your sideline. They'll definitely be going to the Super Bowl every year, if not winning the Super Bowl every year. They have Bill Belichick for the next
5. Yeah, I would fire him too. I mean, it is hard to fire a coach that in his tenure has went to a Super Bowl and also NFC Championship game twice. It would definitely be doing that, but like this would be definitely a failure. Losing to a rookie quarterback at home, where you're clearly the better team, would definitely, because for something to happen like that, I think it will have to be like a coaching malpractice. For instance, opting to run a play action boot play when you need to take time off the clock, and instead of, I understand why they did it. I guess because it's worked at times.
To be fair, that's the Kellen Moore thing because he doesn't call plays. But to that point,
but
he has the option to say no, we're not running.
Yeah,
that. That's what I'm saying.
That's a Kellen Moore play call, but the situation should never like the head coach should be like, we're not passing here. We need to run the ball. Obviously, Jalen Hurts takes a sack, but at that point, you have no chance to get a first down. So, yeah, I don't know. That was just dumb. It's been multiple instances this year where it's been head coaching malpractice. And let's talk about the actual matchup about who we got winning this game. I think, like I said earlier, for the Commanders to win this game, Jaden is going to have a hell of a game. Arguably, probably his best game of the season in order to get this done. Similar to how he played in that second matchup against the Eagles when they won, when Jalen Hurts went down, and it was like Kenny Pickett or something like that as a backup.
Let's talk about that game. Really go into that. Really get into that game because I understand Jalen Hurts was out. They still scored 33 points. You know what I'm saying? And the Commanders turned the ball over 5 times, and it's not like the offense technically didn't miss a beat, or so to speak. They still put up the amount of points that they were going to put up probably anyway. But the Commanders, again, they turned the ball over 5 times, and they still won that game. The defense was still the defense. The defense ain't take no plays off because Jalen Hurts was there. And the offense ain't really take no plays off because Jalen Hurts wasn't there either. So it's like that's a real matchup. Everybody want to excuse it because Jalen Hurts was out, but I don't think that changed a lot.
When Jalen Hurts was in the game, they were definitely in control of that game at the time. And if I do remember, they had a few drives where they started out and didn't score. So I'm trying to go find a play-by-play right now.
That's what I understand. I get that. There was about 3 drives that they didn't score, but we didn't never seen the Commanders have 5 turnovers in a game either. So for one variance, you get another one. Do you think they're going to do that again? Because I don't think the Commanders are going to. I don't think the Commanders are going to have 5 turnovers again either.
I also don't think that the Eagles are going to let 36 points again either. Personally, it's possible, but I think more highly of their defense than that. And also, I think that what I'm going to say, I think CJ Gardner Johnson was out in that game too.
He
And
he got he was playing and then he got himself ejected.
oh yeah,
And
yeah. I
that
mean,
was like in the middle of the game. Like the Commanders were still like they were still scoring while he was playing.
yeah. I think
Yeah,
they went up
regular
21-7.
fashion.
They went 21-7 on Saquon Barkley rushing touchdown, and
Yeah, he
then they
had a
didn't
big
score
one.
another. They didn't score another touchdown the whole game. They had like I just can't see that happening with Jalen Hurts like in a game. Like, they don't score another touchdown for the whole entire game with the Commanders defense. Like let's say so they're up 21-7 at this point. Like I feel like they might put up 50 with Jalen Hurts in the lineup. Like
Yeah,
that's how I'm viewing the game.
I get that point. I understand that point. What I'm saying is, I also don't think the Commanders turned the ball over 5 times either. Like that first drive, this is the best fourth down team in the league. They like missed on the fourth down in the middle of the field, so they gave the Eagles a short field. Like I don't think those same things that are like kind of very up and down. I don't think those happen because they just don't turn the ball over that much. So like for the same reason why you think they would score on those 3 drives, I think you could take some of those turnovers and it's still a close game.
Max, you getting cooked right now by somebody in our comments. You remember on that last video you said, "Are they losing to Philly right now?" Philly scored the first basket, and that was the first and only 32nd period in which they held the lead. Bro, fried you.
I got my bet on that one though, but I honestly think that this game will be closer than people think. I guess Philly was up 13 last week. I think with 4 minutes left. I get it's a snow game, whatever. They almost folded that game though. They were a much better pass away of Matt Stafford away from losing that game. I think that Jaden Daniels has shown that he can do a lot with his offense. Him and Cliff are on another level. They played this team twice so far. I think they will obviously have schemes of how to beat this defense, and especially with the injuries on their defense, I think that like there is definitely a chance where Jaden Daniels is playing in the Super Bowl in 2 weeks. So I honestly would pick the Eagles. I think that they'll dominate kind of the pace of the game. It should be a huge Saquon Barkley game. Obviously, it just again I think all these Eagles games really fall on Jalen Hurts. Jalen Hurts needs to be a just
What
accurate passer.
what game has fell on Jalen Hurts so far in this?
I'm just simply saying he's got to make these simple passes because I think your run game's gonna be fine. Your O line's gonna be fine. They've shown they could do it the last 2 times versus the
I
Commanders.
ain't gonna lie, bro. He don't have to do nothing at all, and they can win this game.
But I'm just saying, I
Like
think
they
that
can have Tanner McKee come out and play this game, and they can win this game.
So you think the Eagles smoke them?
No, I don't think that. I think the Eagles win. I think the Eagles should win.
I agree.
I think the Commanders been my upset pick like for like the whole time because I think they could upset team. Like if the Commanders win, I wouldn't be surprised at all. But the Eagles should win this game, and they don't need Jalen Hurts to do anything. Like they never needed Jalen Hurts to do anything for them to get a win.
I get because it's just a surface level quarterback, right? He's a basic quarterback, but just in this game, I need you got to kind of control the time and pace. You want to keep Jay Daniels off the field, right? Obviously, it's the only thing you want to do. Like
you got the best O line and the best running back in the league.
So you just got to dominate the pace, but there are going to be times where it's a 3rd and 5, 3rd and 6, 3rd and 7. I don't know if you're running that right now. So
50-50 ball to AJ Brown. What could go wrong?
A lot.
Let me not say that because it's still Jalen Hurts.
A lot. Again, I think the Eagles have this game. They should win this game, but I agree. I don't think it's fair to count out the Commanders, especially what you saw last week. So I had them winning week 1. Did not have them winning week 2, obviously. But the Eagles didn't look great last week either. So we will see.
Yeah, I feel like this game is a very simple evaluation, in my opinion. The Eagles are the second best rushing team in the entire league. They have the best running back in the entire league, and also Jalen Hurts, who can he can do damage in the running game as well, like as we saw last week. The Commanders are not good.
Hey.
He had a 44-yard touchdown.
He
is hurt.
He can't move.
Okay, but the Commanders are one of the worst teams in the league at stopping the run. They're the 18th ranked defense as far as EPA per rush. And so I feel like the Eagles are going to be able to run the ball at will, and the Eagles are one of the best teams in the entire league at stopping the run, which the Commanders are great at. So just off of those, those trade-offs, I feel like the Eagles got this down.
The Eagles have injuries, no?
Yeah, the Commanders' game ain't good. They just run the ball. It ain't good. Brian Robinson has been bad. And Austin Eckler, he's been a check down merchant. He hasn't been like a great rusher.
Well, I mean, Jaden Daniels is included in that. So
yeah, that's saying if Jaden Daniels was the only rusher, and that's all that matters, then yeah, they got a great rushing offense.
They're first in EPA per run, and which Jaden Daniels is a part of that. So
he's been taking he's had almost 10 carries a game the last 6 games.
Yeah, so if the Commanders load the box, which is very theoretical thing, to load the box and actually stop the run game from happening with Saquon Barkley, because that's not really a thing that has happened. The Steelers have done it, but I mean, I don't think the Commanders' defense is nearly as good as the Steelers. I just don't think the Commanders have a good enough defense to win this game. Jaden Daniels is going to have an otherworldly game, which I guess he can do, but I do not think that is possible against this defense. He did have an amazing game against them in the regular season, but again, like I said, they were up 21-7 in that game when everything just stalled out, and they did not score a touchdown after that. I think that game would have been a blowout if Jalen Hurts was in that game. The Eagles also controlled the game earlier in the season, and people say Jaden Daniels was recovering from a rib injury. I understand that, but they controlled that game early in the year, and Jaden Daniels was not having his best performance in that game. So I think it's a repeat of that. It's gonna look more like that first game. It's not gonna be as high scoring as the second one. I think the Eagles are gonna win 24-14. I think they're gonna win 24-14. That's my official prediction for the game. I'm not expecting to lose this game. I had the Eagles making the Super Bowl. Never really move out to take the whole entire year. Let's move on. So we all have the Eagles, right?
Damn. Can I analyze?
I thought you already said you got the Eagles winning.
My bad.
Go ahead.
My bad, bro.
You said what?
Go ahead again.
My bad. Okay, so Bills and Chiefs. The Bills and Chiefs are back. This is the fourth time I think that the Bills and Chiefs have matched up in the playoffs since Patrick Mahomes and Josh Allen been who they've been. What would a win for Josh Allen mean for his seat, and where he is in the league if he's able to finally get over the hump and beat Patrick Mahomes in the AFC Championship game?
Who you asking?
Well, Q first.
I think it solidifies him as number 2. I guess people will probably still have Lamar because he got regular season MVPs, but at some point those got to stop mattering. And I think playoff play has to take a huge matter a lot, especially when there's 2 players about on the same magnitude of strength and whatnot. This is a tough matchup. This is like the Goliath. He hasn't slain it yet. One of those wins is definitely on him. They got blown out, but you could argue that the last 2 matchups, he did pretty. He had one spectacular game, and the last game he had, it wasn't really on him per se. It's just better team opportunities, dumb coaching decisions, kind of missed kick, whatever you want to. A lot went into that. He did miss 2 throws at the end, but Chris Jones made a great play back to back. What you expect? That's Hall of Famer. A win would mean a lot for Josh, like I said, for that. Also mean a lot for Sean McDermott, because you kind of say he came in on a hot seat, and if he went go through this season with the adversity, with the whole talent talk, and him getting to the NFC Championship, finally making the Super Bowl after all the regular season wins, he could finally validate, him being the coach, especially a defensive one where everybody's trying to find the offensive hot shot. It mean a lot for him, and his legacy is one of the better coaches in the league, because I think he gets slighted. Nobody talks about Sean McDermott being a good coach, even though he's won the division 5 times in a row, 11, 12, 13 win seasons, back to back to back to back. I understand you got Josh Allen, but he made the playoffs before he had Josh Allen. have made the playoffs with Josh Allen not being who Josh Allen is now. I think he's done a great job, especially with the defense, with all the injuries and things like that. I think if both those people will finally get their respect if they win this game.
Max, what are we thinking?
I agree. It solidifies Josh is number 2. I think I have him number 2 regardless, but I mean, I feel like this is gonna be disagreed upon, but I think it finally gives this whole rivalry like more kind of juice to it because the Bills finally won. Again, the Bills have the regular season wins, but that doesn't really mean much in the long run because you want to get the playoff wins. And so far, Pat and the Chiefs have gotten every one of them. So all the ones that matter, they've walked away with the win, which is huge. So, what's up?
No, go ahead.
I think that this finally gives the rivalry more juice. Obviously, they got to go win the Super Bowl, but this is finally one where I think for the Chiefs, maybe they get a little more, depending on how they lose, right? You go into the offseason, like we actually have to make some changes. We can't just keep rolling out the same team and pray that everyone stays healthy and stuff. But I really think that this kind of, if he gets the MVP, if he wins the Super Bowl, if he wins the Super Bowl MVP, I think this moves Josh Allen up in the all-time rankings. I think it moves him up, obviously, in the rankings currently, like it should be in the league. Yeah, I think that this Bills team finally, that city needs a championship. They haven't got one in so long. I think the Bills fans finally get one. But yeah, I really think that if Josh Allen can get this win, I think it's huge for his legacy because I think as of right now, Josh Allen's a great quarterback. Don't get me wrong, but he is known as just the guy who, whether it's the team or whatever else, like just wasn't able to beat Mahomes. So Mahomes is number one enemy, I guess, but has never been able to beat him. So I think hopefully this could be tides turning to where you can actually get a more competitive rivalry where both team kind of gets their wins. But as of right now, it's just, yeah, it's the Pat Mahomes show. So I think Josh needs this one. I don't think you can get one more loss right now and keep rolling it out thinking that it's just going to change. But I think especially what happened at the start of the year, with how this year started with Stephon going out, people kind of saying it'd be a rebuild year. This team wouldn't be as good, picking the Jets to win the division. I think that this is huge for Josh Allen and huge for Buffalo as a whole.
I mean, he can start the rivalry next year. Pat has a 3-peat to complete.
That's what I'm telling you. I think the rivalry is damn near dead. I think it's damn near dead if it's one more year. 4 straight's bad. Sorry, but 4 straight's bad. 4 straight losses is like, that's not a rivalry. I get it's a good competition, but it's not a rivalry.
It's not much of a rivalry right now. They won the
It's okay to not have a rivalry. People just so in love with the Brady and whatever. Like, it's okay to not have a rivalry. This is something we never seen before. Like, we never seen this before. Like, it's okay to not have. Like, I understand people want to put something against that because they just need it so bad. It's okay to not have it
before. What do you mean we haven't seen this before?
We never seen a start to a career like this ever. Like, not close.
What do you mean? I don't know what you mean by that.
Mahomes? Nobody has done what Mahomes and the
Chiefs have done. Got you. I thought you meant the rivalry. We've never seen a rivalry before. And I was like, we literally have Brady and Manning for a long, long time. Yeah, but I agree. Yeah.
I think it would work wonders for Josh's legacy to finally get one over Patrick Mahomes, especially with how good the Chiefs have been this year. This is he would definitely is on the inferior roster. He's also played better than Mahomes probably for the last 2 regular seasons. So to finally get one over on them in the playoffs would help him immensely, in my opinion. But do I think it's going to happen? We'll get to that. To be honest, let's talk about what a 3-peat would mean for Mahomes. If Mahomes actually 3-peats, we can end the GOAT discussions. We don't need to have them anymore. I mean, this is already arguably the best 6-year start to a career we've ever seen in NFL history. I mean, Brady was pretty good as well, but as a player, he was nowhere near Mahomes at all his first 6-7 years in the league. He was a benefit of some of the best defenses we've ever seen, and with the best head coach we've ever seen. He was nowhere near Patrick Mahomes' level as a player. So if Pat actually three-peats, which no team has ever done, that should be enough for the consensus to have him as the greatest quarterback ever, because I already have him there, and the best person to ever throw a football. So that's what it means. It's very simple to me. What y'all think?
I want to say I seen Andrew Hawk. He put up a tweet today. He said, "Unpopular opinion: if Patrick Mahomes loses on Sunday, I still think he's a Hall of Famer."
Duh.
Yeah, I'm like, bro, what are you talking about, yo, bro? This is not unpopular, bro. This is a consensus take that he's literally a Hall of Famer. But yeah, bro, this three-peat ends it all. People gotta remember, Brady went 10 years without winning a Super Bowl. Like he had two. Like he had two Super Bowls and then went 10 years without winning one. Patrick Mahomes literally already had four. He'd have what is he, 29? He'd have 15 years to win three more just to match Brady, but I don't think he even needs seven to match it. Like it's just, you could pretty much chalk it up. He's gonna win, I'd say, at least 6 Super Bowls. Like he's already at 3. There's a good chance he wins 4 this year, and he can literally just coast, rack up the stats, because all those counting numbers he's going to get, because he already way ahead of the pace. Probably going to beat all those numbers probably like within the next 10 years, give or take, given health and things like that. Even when Andy retires, he's probably still going to have another 10 years of just being who he is. It's not hard to coach the greatest player that we ever seen. He's going to like cover up all your mistakes. We've seen Peyton Manning literally say, "I got the offense. You take care of whatever you're going to take care of," and and he did it. So I think Patrick Mahomes will do that same thing too. This is just cement them as the best player of all time. This would be the best team of all time. Andy Reid, I think, could probably have a real case to say he's the best coach of all time.
Pat Mahomes already is the best person ever throwing football, in my opinion. And I agree with both of you guys. I think that this just seals it by a mile. The three-peat, the teams he's beaten. Because again, I say it's not a rivalry. That is nothing against Lamar Jackson and Josh Allen. Those are two great quarterbacks, two all-time quarterbacks with usually good teams surrounding them, whether it's offensively or defensively. Great coaches going to, like, they're not playing chumps year in and year out. They are playing good competition. I really think that, again, these are some of the best football teams we've seen, not last year, but because of Patrick Mahomes. I think Pat Mahomes' offenses, obviously, him and Andy Reid, the match there just makes it transcendent offenses with no one on the team. So I really think a win here, a win against Philly or the Commanders, it just, it's insane. So I don't think that rings, especially in the NFL, I think are very, very, I think you should take everything with a grain of salt, because I agree. I think you look at the Tom Brady rings, and again, the Chiefs had good defenses, but you had all-time defenses led by great O-line. Like, he did have a great supporting cast, and I think it's just, you can have the eye test to see that in these games, in the Super Bowl where they lost, Pat Mahomes was the best player on the field when they lost. He's trying to extend plays, and again, he's throwing picks, whatever, but just some of the most acrobatic plays and the way that he can extend, it's insane. So I think that when you see the way he elevates his teams, when you see the way that he plays against competition, when you see the way he pulls out wins, even when he can't, doesn't seem like it's possible. And I get people are going to blame refs and people are going to blame whatever, the flopping. He just, again, it's 4 Super Bowls. This would make it 4 Super Bowls. I think he needs one more to like easily ice it, but I think this three-peat should do the job.
So who do you got winning the game? What's our picks? When y'all gonna start? Matter of fact, Q, I want to know. You're the Josh Allen guy, Plasuto Bills person. You were rooting for the Bills to win, I guess, last week.
Whoa. Cool it,
what do you got? Who do you got winning this game?
I think this is the year that it happens. Because and for the sole fact of, if it don't happen this year, it's just not gonna happen. And it's like, I know somebody, and it's like something's gonna happen. Like, it's just never gonna happen for Josh Allen. Like, even if he makes the Super Bowl, it's probably gonna be one of those situations where somebody else beat Patrick Mahomes on some first round upset, whatever it is, and that's how he got to the Super Bowl, because he wasn't in the win, and that invalidates his Super Bowl. Like, yeah, but you still ain't beat Patrick Mahomes. Like, It has to be this year. This is the best. This is the best team he's had to face them, like with the best scheme, like the running game. Like they're gonna be able to lean on the offensive line and try to control the ball like they did last game. Last 2 times they matched up really, or 3 times. Like it's just been a ball control game and make a play here or there. Since the first 2 meetings of that these guys ever played, has pretty much been one score games. That's what it's come down to. It's been just been whoever's had the ball last and made the play. And last more than not, the last couple of times, like Josh Allen been making the play. I think this time it actually works in the playoffs instead of 13 seconds and whatever happens there, or it's not in the hands of the feet of Tyler Bass, and he misses a kick to potentially tie the game. Hopefully they go into overtime, things like that. I think similar to this season, be nip and tuck, and then Josh Allen, they let him have a drive. Joe Brady and Sean McDermott says, go ahead. He pulls out a drive, and he wins the game and goes to the Super Bowl.
I'm not picking against Patrick Mahomes ever in life. There's not going to be a game where I'm going into the game picking against Pat Mahomes, especially in the playoffs. But
that's crazy.
I mean,
you were saying earlier that they're not going to go to the Super Bowl like early in the middle of the season, but that's neither here nor there. We told you they was all good, and you was like, "Nah, I don't think so."
That's fine. I said I was a big concern. I said I was a big concern. Now let's talk about what.
Should we be concerned with the Kansas City Chiefs? Okay, but all right.
The Chiefs, since the last time these two teams played, have got back Charles Omenihu. They got back Jalen Watson. I think Jalen Watson is pivotal. This defense was operating at a crazy level, like an elite level when he was on the field. He went down, and the secondary got a lot worse. They were one of the top secondaries in the league, and they ended the season around average. They're very good at stopping the run, which the Bills like to do a lot. I think Josh Allen's going to have a very, very, very good game in order to get this done. He won't be able to play conservative like the game plan was last week, and to be the Chiefs. They're too good of a team. He's going to have a Superman performance. I just think the Chiefs are a better coach team. They have a better roster, and they have a better quarterback. Patrick Mahomes is insanely good on third down. He's insanely good in the clutch. Yes, I do think they have the better roster. I do. The Chiefs, I feel like they do, yes.
I think it's more even. I think it's more even than you think.
I didn't really say it was. I didn't say it was a blowout. I just think they have a better roster. I do. But that's neither here nor there. I'm picking the Chiefs in this game. I think that Travis Kelce will show up as he does in the playoffs, and they're going to have a hard time defending that. Also, the Bills are banged up still. Matt Milano is playing amazing. He's healthy, but I think Teron Johnson got injured last game. Taylor Rapp got injured. Benford is also dealing with an injury. It's a lot of Bills players dealing with injury right now, and I don't even know if these guys are going to play. Teron Johnson suffered an injury to his neck and shoulder. You said what?
They about to pop some perks, and they're going to play. They're not missing this game for nothing.
No, that's true. I mean, it is the biggest game of the season, so I definitely understand that. Christian Benford is under concussion protocol, so they definitely probably will play because this is for all the marbles. But they are. They get
2 weeks off if they win this game.
Also, but that could help the Chiefs as well because they're playing against players that are banged up, so like that. The Chiefs win. The Chiefs win on the margins, and I think they're going to control the margins better than the Bills in this game, for sure. Max,
I have not picked against them all year, and I will continue not pick against them. Buffalo is a great team; they definitely can win. Both these teams deserve to win. They both had great years. But again, I was not worried week 1. I wasn't worried week 2. I wasn't worried week 3. And I think, to be honest, the Bills are a valiant team to lose to if they do lose. But I'm taking KC. I'm not betting against Pat Mahomes, Andy Reid, Chris Jones is back. Like, I think this team is.
Also said this in the middle of the season. I said I wouldn't bet against Patrick Mahomes ever. I said that in the middle of the season.
Well, I don't know. We're going to start first about beating on your team, but it's fine. Anyways, I think it's fine. I don't really trying to just stir up random controversy then when no one agrees. If you didn't think they were 9-0, why? If you were not worried, then why should the?
No, I didn't say I was worried. I said I was slightly concerned. It's the two different things.
So you're worried. Thanks. Okay. Anyways, I don't.
Tomato.
I don't understand I don't understand and Latif, who is the self-proclaimed Pat Mahomes #1 fan, whatever. I feel like you would have learned after how many years now that no matter what happens in the regular season, like they'll somehow find a way to stumble right into the AFC Championship game. So,
I don't agree. That's going to be the trend going forward.
What'd you say? 7 years? You said
They
7
got,
years,
they got that.
right?
Yes, this is their 7th time being in the AFC
Okay,
Championship
thank
game.
you. So that's
They
enough
got,
for me. That's enough for
they
me.
also got back Isaiah Pacheco. They got back some other injured players like a Charles. They also got I know Pacheco hasn't been good.
What point are you trying to prove to me?
They signed Kareem Hunt, right? Correct.
What?
Yeah. Yes. What point are you trying to prove to me?
Huh?
What point are you trying to prove?
He's trying to say when he was concerned, it was because all of those players, not because all those players was out, but all those players were out and they were playing bad. But now they're back. And to this point, Charles Manning, who had a great game against the Texans last game, along with George Karlaftis having his breakout game, Jalen Watson's that was their second best corner on the roster. Everybody was going after Najee. I think his name Najee Johnson. They was abusing him.
If Jalen Watson wasn't returning, I definitely would be a little bit scared for this game and them also in the playoffs. Yeah, I would.
The reason why, obviously, it's going to play a factor because that limits what you're trying to do in the pass game. But we've seen this pass game from the Bills, and it's not like Josh not zoning in on anybody. If you covered, you cover. You're not getting the ball. There's somebody going to be open and against this Chiefs team. It's going to be the tight ends because they can't guard tight ends. So if Dawson Knox and Dalton Kincaid got to have 120 yards between them two in this game, they probably will. Plus, James Cook usually plays well in this matchup. Chiefs are good at stopping running back ones, but James Cook's a different type of running back because he also catches the ball. So you're not really you're not gonna fully utilize him. De-utilize him. Same thing with Ty Johnson. Great in the pass game, great in the block game. He's gonna play a lot of snaps. Ray Davis is a bully, so they're just gonna try and run this game or run the clock down. Again, this is one of the best O lines in the league. Chiefs got a great D line, but that's great on great. Quarterback's great on great. It's pretty even matchup across the board. Obviously, you give the edge to quarterback. How much you give the edge, not really important. You give the edge in coaching. That's a decent enough gap. But I think this year just because they're better doesn't mean it's going to work. Because if they were to lose to a team, it's this team. If you ask everybody in that building, they're more scared of the Bills than anybody else. You can see how they play against them.
Yeah.
I think the Bengals thing is just because the Bengals was talking trash, but
the Bills
not scared of the Bills, but this is the matchup. This the worthy opponent is Josh Allen. They watched him go nuclear in the playoffs before, so
and they beat him in the regular season. They consistently do get wins against them in the regular season too.
So that'd be my major. I understand the playoffs; they don't win in the playoffs, but to be fair, nobody really does. If you want to keep hanging on to the one time where Joe Burrow beat him in OT because Patrick Mahomes threw a pick. He had the worst half of his career. He threw a pick to end that game. That's it took OT. It takes to beat Patrick Mahomes out and go to Super Bowl. It takes overtime. Outside of that one outlier win,
and the Bucks, the only team really.
They consistently beat. They're the only team that can consistently say that we've beaten this team more times than they beaten us. You know what I'm saying? The Bengals can't say that. The Bengals can't say that. Yeah. The playoffs was saying. I understand the playoffs. I'm just saying the Chiefs, this is the only team that's ever actually really come face with us and think they can win every single time. Everybody else, it's just fake glory.
All right. So Q, you pick the Bills. Max, you pick the Chiefs. I pick the Chiefs. Let's see what's gonna happen, man. It's gonna be like last week. It's gonna be great for narratives and all that type of stuff. It's gonna be a lot of important stuff happening in these games. So yeah, I'm excited to see you on Sunday. I think I have work. I hate it. But anyways, we gonna last thing we're gonna do is grade these head coaching hires. I believe Ben Johnson got hired 3 days ago. I think Aaron Glenn got hired. I think either today or yesterday. So yesterday. So I want you guys to grade these head coaching hires. First name up is Mike Vrabel.
I think that's a solid B+.
That's it.
Oh, I mean, I can get into it. Yeah, he's obviously a leader of men. Could coach the defense. He also has somebody else with him that used to be there before, Terrell Williams, who was with Detroit. So the defense is gonna be taken care of. They got the money. He got the quarterback, got his OC back. Whatever you want to think of Josh McDaniels, but last time he made Mac Jones look good for a year. I think he could do that and more with Drake May. Good spot, has money, has the runway. He's not going to get second guessed. They're going to allow him to do what he do. It was a great hire. I kind of wish it'd be offensive, but Mike Vrabel's a cool dude. He understands offense too.
I think A- for sure. I think the fit is great. Again, he's someone who understands what the Patriots are as a franchise. I think that with that defense, they need to build it up. Once again, I think the Patriots live on great defenses for sure. The Josh McDaniels hire scares me a little bit. Just again, it was a very rough stint in Oakland or Vegas, I guess either one. Last time he was in New England, he did have, I know you're saying Mac Jones, but he had Bill and a lot for you. Also had Tom Brady. But I believe in Drake. I think Drake's a great prospect. I think he's got a lot of potential. So it's just up to him to kind of unlock that. But I think Vrabel is the perfect hire for what the Patriots are.
I believe Josh McDaniels is a good coordinator. He's just not a good head coach.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
That's
he
fair.
cannot run a team, but he could definitely coach an offense.
Fair.
I'm gonna say it's a hire. I think that Vrabel is gonna get the most out of the Patriots roster every single year. We saw that in Tennessee, that he raised their floor and honestly their ceiling as well while he was there. Also, he's one of the best coaches as far as like managing the game. He's not just like a leader of man that doesn't leave his imprint on the game. His teams don't usually make that many like stupid mistakes. And as far as like timeouts and going for it, he's one of the best ones in the NFL. So
that's how they beat Bill Belichick. I think in that playoff game. And sneaky, watch out for AJ Brown to the Patriots. That's a little rumor out there. I don't know. They like each other. They got the cap space and they got the draft capital. They could definitely. If I'm Philly, you give me a first for AJ Brown. I give you AJ Brown. I ain't got a fresh contract. Not like they can't draft another, highly touted receiver. They can definitely do that.
Next name up is Ben Johnson. Max?
Are we all looking at me?
Yes, man.
Again, this is gonna sound hating. It's gonna sound whatever.
He about to give it a B.
B plus, because I'm just nervous. That's it. As simple as that. I'm just like, it seems like the right hire, right? It seems perfect, and it just seems way too perfect that something's just gonna go wrong. Again, transcendent offensive coordinator who's been great with the Lions, even when their weapons weren't the weapons they have now, even when the O-line wasn't the O-line they had now. I think that he will get the most out of Caleb. Him not being a head coach scares me, but again, you got to take a risk with a lot of these coordinators because a lot of people who get hired have not been head coaches before. So again, I want to see his leadership qualities. I want to see his game management. The first time I ever really heard him talk was during the first press conference, and he never really spoke at the Lions. So I am like very much like I'll go B plus to appease you guys, but like I am very much nervous that like it just seems way too perfect. So I don't want to say anything because again, we sat here last time, Q, talking about this team. You're like, calm down. They're gonna have 8-9 wins, and we ended up with what fucking 4. So like this is just what the Bears do: is you do it wrong and you're bad, and you do it right and you're still bad. So I really got nothing.
Tell me how many offensive coordinators or defensive coordinators have you heard speak before they became a head coach? Like you never heard Aaron Glenn speak until you got to the press conference. Like you never heard it, like that. Just obviously just speaks to the head coach.
I heard Aaron Glenn speak. I've heard Aaron Glenn speak before.
He's different, but he's.
I'm thinking like, Matt LaFleur, probably not. I've heard
you never seen these dudes speak.
Yeah, no, I understand, but I'm just saying like Ben Johnson for how he was in the news to be a coach for 2-3 years and to never hear him speak when he's the first, like, I don't know. I hope his leadership qualities are great. That's all I got. I hope he's the one.
This is an A hire. You get an offensive minded pair with a young quarterback who's clearly talented. Again, you got cap space, you got draft capital, you have already a way better than decent roster to already work with, and you got him some decent weapons to work with as well. There's not much that he has to do in terms of like getting the team together, especially on the offensive end. Couple of tackles, running back, and you pretty much there. You got your two receivers. You don't really need Keenan Allen. You can get a wide receiver 3 anywhere. Defense, you got some solid building blocks. If if Dennis Allen is your DC, I think you got a great infrastructure. You got his quarterback coach that he brought with him for the Lions, who was working with Jared Goff. I don't know, that might be a bad thing, but then again, Jared Goff, he just be doing dumb things all the time anyway. Uh, I think you got to add variance because they've been doing the same things. The Bears have always done this. I wouldn't want to say safe option, but yeah, the safe option, the thing that keeps them close to their culture. This is out of left field for them. They've never done things like this, but I think you need to add variance if you want to change, like the type of culture you have. And I think like this starts right here, right now.
Hopefully. O-line is so important in this offseason because we know Ben Johnson obviously goes through his O-line. So we need to adjust that. Trey Smith.
This is A plus hire. This is who I think the Bears should have got. He is one of the best offensive minds in the entire NFL. Now it's going to be about building a great coaching staff. It's going to be about building a great offensive line. But he's one of the best offensive minds, and you pair that with one of the most talented quarterbacks in the NFL. I don't really think is much. I don't think you really can get better than that as far as a coaching hire. He was the hottest candidate on the market for a reason. Now we got to see how he does managing personalities, managing egos, how he leads men. But from the early returns on what I've seen from like on video as a leader, it looks like he's a pretty confident guy, and he actually believes in Caleb and believes in what the Bears are trying to do. So I think it's an A plus hire. Next name up is going to be Aaron Glenn.
I'll go B minus C plus. I think it was a pretty chalk hire. I think they would go with defensive guys in the past. I give Aaron Glenn credit. He finally gets his chance. I think he's obviously been staying around for a long time. Finally gets his chance to go prove what he's got. I don't necessarily. I guess I give it that because I don't really know what the Jets are going for. I don't know what they're really trying to build, who they're going to sign. There are just so many unanswered question marks. So I think kind of getting Aaron Glenn, who for the past 3 years, 2 years, has a winning pedigree, seems to be a good leader, and you kind of focus on the defense side of the ball, where regardless of what happens with your quarterback position, your wide receiver position, whatever, you're going to be able to build out a defense with Sauce, with Quinnen, and hopefully play through your defense. So I think, yeah, it's a fine hire. I guess it's more just I blame the Jets for not really having a team where you can kind of, I don't know what kind of coach you need. So I think Aaron Glenn, hopefully he kills it over there. He gets a shot to do. He finally gets a shot at the head coaching job. So he's been at this DC position way back when this team was terrible. I don't know what he does with the Jets though.
Yo, Latif hate Donovan Mitchell, but yeah, it's a B. I think it's a B high.
Do you disagree with what I said? I feel like
No,
Darius Garland.
I don't. But it's cool. You said some. The other thing you said was wild, and we already talked about it. But that's neither here nor there. It's a B higher. I don't. If you're the best candidate, you're just the best candidate. I don't think you should try to reach for offensive minds just for the sake of reaching for offensive mind. If you have a known leader of men based on all the reports of Aaron Glenn's history of just being a great guy, great leader, and people expect people know that he expects the best out of you. I think you pick that higher. He's in this organization before, that he's beloved in this organization. He was a first round pick for this team. He was a great player for this team. So I think the history favors him. He's going to get the respect from everybody else. From what I know now, he's ran successful businesses. So he knows what he's doing. Like he obviously could run a situation. Like this is a business, he could run this business. Obviously, he's not the owner, but on a day-to-day, they coming to you the head coach. Whatever GM they bring in, probably going to work well with him too. OC hire is going to be paramount. If you're looking at Clint Kubiak, I think that'd be a great addition. So now you got your offense kind of taken care of. The defense could get back to what it's been. And now he has actual, like, he had pieces, but they were obviously injured, so he had to change his plans. With his Jets team, again, you got pieces. They also have draft capital. They also have, established actual stars at position. So I think this is a good hire. Doesn't really matter about the quarterback because Aaron Rodgers is only going to be there for so long, and as long as they give him some type of runway, it's not going to be really one or two and done for him.
I think this was a B plus hire. I think Aaron Glenn is a actual great leader of men. He is very energetic. He clearly loves his players. His players love him. I think that gets you a lot, like very far. Um, it's kind of like the Raheem Morris type of thing last year. Obviously, it's different. I think that like Aaron Glenn, from what I can see, is a better leader of men. But I want to see how Aaron Glenn managed the game. Like that's really what I'm waiting to see. Like, how is he gonna go for it as much on fourth down as Dan Campbell does? Like, does that aggressiveness rub off on him? Is he going to struggle with like timeouts and clock management? That's the type of stuff I want to see. As far as like him being able to control a locker room, lead man, I think he's gonna be fine there. Play calling, he's gonna hire a DC to do that. So he probably has some input, but I don't think that's what's going to make most of his head coaching. I think it's going to be mostly like game management, clock management, how he handles egos and stuff like that. As far as calling the defense, I think this year he made the best out of what he had. He had numerous injuries to the defensive line and the secondary, so he tried to manufacture pressure by blitzing a lot and just playing man coverage, and that worked for a long time for the Lions until it didn't. So yeah, I think Aaron Glenn is going to be a good head coach. I kind of wanted them to get an offensive mind, to be honest. I don't know what the situation is going to be like with Aaron Rodgers, but the Jets culture is ass. So they need someone that's going to be able to come there and change the culture for sure. So I was almost leaning towards an A, but I want to see how he actually manages the game and controls the game and all that type of stuff. So, last name is Liam Cohen. Assuming that the Jaguars hire him.
B minus. I think it's similar to Aaron Glenn, except
what? Robert Saleh just landed in Jacksonville for an interview.
Oh, that's crazy.
Robert Saleh will get a C. I'll give this one a B minus just because I think you go with the offensive guy for Trevor. I think they need to unlock the most they can out of Trevor. Doug Peterson obviously didn't work, so I don't know. I really don't care who gets hired in Jacksonville because until I see more from Trevor, I'm kind of stuck.
Liam Cohen informed Bucks head coach Todd Bowles that he was at the doctor's office with his sick child.
So Liam Cohen's like not going. He's not going.
Nah, he told that to the Bucks because they offered that contract. Hey, yo, that's funny. If they do get Liam Cohen, it's pretty much kind of against there, but I think it's kind of like a B plus hire. For the simple fact, offensive mind, you pair him with Trevor Lawrence. There's already a solid infrastructure on the team already in terms of certain players at certain positions. Like you have your quarterback, you got a wide receiver, you got a corner, you got an edge rusher.
Tight end.
He might not be there.
Is he free agent?
Yeah, it's either a free agent or he's just coming off injury. Either way, you feel me? That's up in the air. You can replace him anywhere, to be honest.
Yeah.
Got a top-ish pick in the draft. You're most likely you could get yourself a corner or a D-line, whichever one lands to you, you get them. So you have some solid things. Again, you got what I think is one of the better, more talented quarterbacks in the league. I still believe in Trevor. I still think he can be a top 10 quarterback. I think he could be higher than that. At his peak, we've seen what Liam Cohen did with Baker Mayfield in that offensive infrastructure they have over there. I think you could do that with the Jags as long as they give him time and they don't just run him out of the building after like 2 years and they go to the AFC Championship game or something like that. I think it's a good hire. If they hire Robert Saleh, I'm out. But if they got Liam Cole and they still got Saleh, but he's the DC, I'm good with that.
Oh no, Liam Cohen as a head coach, and then I don't know how good he is like as far as like managing the game or leading man or not like that. I don't really know much about his personality. I haven't really seen much. I do know he can call plays though. And the Jaguars need their play calling was terrible last year. But I really think that's because Doug Peterson for some reason just didn't want to call the plays. I don't know what he was doing because Doug Peterson's a good play caller, so I don't really know what that was going on. But
when it comes to these dudes, I think your coordinators matter. So like for the first time head coaches, like if you had Robert Saleh on his staff, he's been a head coach before. He wasn't a bad leader for the Jets, to be honest. Like they all rallied around him. They rocked with him. His defense was top 5. Like if you got those
Zach Wilson type of thing where he was hanging on to that was I don't know.
Yeah. But same thing, Ben Johnson, you get Dennis Allen in there with you. He wasn't the greatest head coach, but he got the experience. He could help you navigate those type of situations that he's clearly been in before. Uh, Glenn Kubiak isn't like a leader of men or anything, but at least he could help you with that play clock, time management thing because he knows what he's doing on that end of that part of the game too. So I think it's just a matter of like who they have on their staff. That's going to be very paramount for these coaches in this cycle.
Yeah, Liam Cohen, they hire him. I'll say it's a B hire because how good of a play caller he is. So it's fine. Out of the available options, I think is one of the better ones considering what they have left. The Jaguars have done a pretty bad job with this head coaching cycle and managing their team this offseason. So far, they've done terrible. Waited too long to fire Balky, whatever dude name is, and now they lost Ben Johnson. They lost Aaron Glenn. They lost the best coaches in this process. So, Trevor, praying for you, brother. But anyways, that's going to end the little not episode but video today. Make sure you guys like the video, share the video, subscribe to the channel, and follow us on our social media platforms up at the top of the screen. If you like the content, make sure you stick by and turn on your post notifications. And we are out.